Hey guys, so in today's video I'm going to be trying something a little bit more unique, and this is something I think can really actually help a lot of you guys out that play this map and might not fully understand how to hold A-site. So if you guys are not aware, A-site is probably the most commonly pushed map throughout almost every rank in the game, at least in my experience. Now I haven't played in lower ranks, but in higher ranks, A-site is extremely commonly pushed, and if you don't know how to play it, push it, or defend it, then you're really going to be at a disadvantage. And that's why I'm making this video, just strictly looking at Icebox A-site. Hey guys, if you like my style of teaching, you can get coaching from me on Discord. Make sure to check the description down below. And we'll basically talk about the process of VOD reviewing or coaching. And I'll let you know how I can improve your overall Valorant skill, either mechanically or in some other way. And again, if you like how this person was coached, reach out to me on Discord. Enjoy the video, guys, and peace. So first we're going to be talking about defense, pretty typical, right? So as a duelist, I'm going to be showing you some of my favorite aggressive spots to play. And I'm just going to show you all of them, and I'm going to break them down and explain when and why you're playing them. So my first spot that I like to go to here is right here on top of these barrels. And this is so good as a Reyna or a Jet player. You don't have to even be on the barrels. You can just be down here like this. This is so good. This is just nice to kind of throw them off a little bit because your head's going to be a bit higher up. So basically, you're going to be looking up here, and if you hear them starting to run down low, you kind of just go like this. Maybe peek out, but kind of just hold like this, right? And so what you're doing here is you're looking to just get a kill, and if you hear them, you're going to hit your dash. And what you're going to do is if you hear them jumping up here, you can hear them. You can hear them jumping. You're going to know that they're going to be up here, and so this is going to be a free kill for you, right? Otherwise, they're going to be down here, and then you're going to activate your dash, kill one, and then dash out, and you're just safe. If you have dismiss, you dismiss to the same spot, and from here, you can basically get all the way back to the back site, or you can just take fights from this spot, right? But I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to talk about some other aggressive spots. So another aggressive spot would be right up against this wall here. This is a spot I like to play sometimes, but also it's good with a shorty or a judge or whatever shotgun you prefer. This is another angle here, which is, again, this is kind of looking here, but this is also good if you just want to kind of play like this with a shotgun or something. I'll just hold like this, but this is pretty expected. Anywhere in this sort of area is also pretty not bad. Anyways, so let's talk about the most aggressive thing you can do. That's just kind of walk up here and peek like this. So again, this is something you don't want to be doing that often. You can try this, and if it works, fantastic. But there's going to be a lot of games where this doesn't work because you get darted up here, someone peeks you up here first, and you're not ready for it. You just get one tap right here. And so that's when you want to start realizing, okay, I shouldn't really be pushing up there anyway, and I should find other alternatives. So anyways, guys, let's move on to some other spots here. So there's one right here you can play. This is a nice little headshot spot. You can crouch and then peek up, or you can jump all the way up on top of the box, especially if they've been peeking. If you know that the jet updrafts behind on this box, you can pre-hold this. This is really a strong spot. You can also get ready for them here. Now, I'm going to be talking about a spot that you need to be at right before the barrier drops. So the barrier is right here somewhere on this 410. So right when the round stops, like the last second, you're going to jump and then grab the rope as the barrier is dropping, because you cannot grab the rope until the barrier drops. So you jump, the barrier drops, you grab the rope, and then you start holding shift right about here. And so this is obviously a pretty clean strat that you can do. Typically, I like to kind of just chill here, walk up, see if they notice me, and if they don't, you're going to be getting a few free kills. Now, this is something you can really only do once or twice in a half. We can also just get on top of 410 and then jump over to here. They're going to be able to hear you, but this is not really a bad strategy, to be honest. This is an interesting strat, especially this is good if you want to get early information on A. So you push up, you peek, and then we can just kind of go like this, right? Especially as Jet, we can get over here pretty easily. Make sure you have your gun out. Of course, don't do this with your knife out. And you can just glide. I don't think you really even need to glide that much. But you can glide if you need to. It's a little bit difficult to do. And then of course, you can come all the way over here, just clear all this out. You've probably seen a lot of professional players do this, where they very quickly clear at A. And so that's how you can do that. Or you can sit back a little more passive, peek up here. People often don't really peek up here too much anymore for some reason. I noticed that. But this is definitely a strat that's pretty good to do if you're feeling your aim especially. So these are some more spots. Now let's move on to one of my other favorites. So one of my other favorites is right up here. This is easy on Jet, but you can do this jump pretty easily. as any other character. You just have to crouch jump right up to here. So here you can either hold, but what I like to do is just kind of sit here. One of the problems with this spot is there's often a Viper wall, so keep that in mind. You can kind of play around it. It's going to drop eventually, and just hold this right here. Let your team know, like, guys, let's play passive. Let's hold down A. I'm not pushing up. Don't expect me to trade. You're right. Be like right here. You can kind of hold like this, but just be aware that the more you peek out, the more spots that you're opening yourself up to, right? So just kind of be aware of that. But this is a really good spot. It's a good spot to opt from for the most part. I think it's just a really unexpected spot that especially a lot of low rank players are not going to expect. So try it out. And again, you can do that as any character. So over here is a spot you can't actually make this jump. I've made this jump like a few times in my whole life without jet. But with jet, it's very easy because you can just glide. But if you're not on jet, what you need to do is jump, attach the rope, and then unattach. And it's actually quite difficult, but I'm not even really going to bother with that right now. So this is just a really good spot to be using a Marshal or an op from. You can even use the Vandal here, but we can opt from here. You'll see a lot of chambers opt from up here. You'll see a lot of just players in general opt from up here. So I would highly recommend trying this spot out. And yeah, so other than that, guys, now we're going to be talking about some of the more passive spots. And so one of the better kind of passive spots, this is not necessarily passive, but just sitting back here, we can hold either angle like this. Typically, it's better to start forward and then come back to here. But for example, if we're just kind of not able to hold those more aggressive angles because we're just getting rolled over, this is a good alternative. And then we can smoke and then dash all the way back pretty safely. We can also dismiss back to here. And this leads me to my next spot, which is just backside, right? Backside is extremely underrated on this map to defend from. I would highly recommend just learning to play here. It's pretty diverse. You can hold here, you can hold here. You can even kind of give up sight, but this often does get walled by a Sage, so get ready for that. You can, again, just look here for a kill. Be careful when you peek all the way out here because they can be up here, back here. They can be close. They can be to the left. So just be aware of that. You can also play Gen like this. You can hold like this, and this is something that's actually not cleared every time. So this can be a pretty solid spot to deny the fuse, deny the plant, sorry. And so now we're talking about Raptors. This is going to be probably one of the most passive spots you can play other than just playing off site completely. So first spot is just right here. You can hold this angle. You can also get ready for this, or down here from there. And lastly, this spot here is one of my favorites. This is a little angle right here, but there's also an angle right here in which you can actually see people's heads right here. And this is going to be a very difficult shot for you, most likely. You can barely see like the top half of their head, but you can shoot them and they can't shoot you, so be aware of that. And this is another spot where you can kind of like crouch, but this is such a small little window, it's kind of not really worth crouching, I don't think. But yeah, guys, so this is A site. I would, again, just conceptually, sorry, this is a lot of spots that I'm throwing at you, but I would recommend if you're a duelist, right, because I always like to speak to the duelist, try to start with these more aggressive spots, like this up here, up here, maybe even for the peak, maybe even coming up here, peeking up here. This is another spot we can get up to. Up here, you see a lot of duelists come here on attack. We'll talk about this on attack in a minute. But try the aggressive spots, and then if they work, that's great. After they work, like for example here, on pistol round, I always come back to right here. And then I'll be like, okay, do I defend here? Do I defend here? Or should I just come all the way back, like smoke myself off, come all the way back? And then if you're just getting rolled and they keep going A, keep going A, keep going A, and you can't defend, and the aggressive plays are not working, pick one of these more defensive spots, like up here, for example. This is extremely strong. Like, they're not going to be expecting this. Like, oh, he's going to be top on screens, right? No, they're not going to know that. You can also play screens, but that's usually if you're retaking. Raptors is really good. It's just really hard to go wrong with Raptors. But yeah, guys, so start forward, first line of defense, then come back, right? So that's how you play Icebox defense. Now we're going to be moving on to attack. And yeah, guys, let me know if you have any questions about defense. But let's go and talk about walking up belt. So this is going to be essentially the same thing, right? But we're just walking up, and we have to clear a little differently. So we have to clear here first, and then always kind of just expecting this stuff. Always expecting this little headshot angle that we talked about on defense, and expecting up here, here. Remember this spot here? This is where they can be over here, back there. Expecting up here, expecting down here especially. You'll see a lot of people down here and down here. They could be up on pipes, but typically place your crosshair where it is most common for them to be. And then we're kind of just walking up, and then if my teammates are close, I might kind of jiggle. You could even dash from here, but you're probably just going to drop. But typically this whole time, you're going to be spending more time up here than what I just did. And you're kind of just looking for a kill. And so I don't really, it kind of just feels clunky and awkward for me to be up here. But really all you need is some aim here. And you're kind of just holding angles you think you're going to beat. they are opping, don't come bell. It's pretty bad for you. So just keep that in mind. And then of course the updraft.
Here.
But so that's one way you can go. This way is gonna lead to more potential routes, and you can also combine these two. So like you come belt, you drop down, and then you go to some of these same spots. So first things first, whenever you come out, make sure you're aware of this. Make sure you're kind of aware of jail. This is not very common for people to go to, but it is possible, so keep that in mind. So you're checking here for headshot, you're checking here, they absolutely can peek here, and then they can be up there. You don't have to place your crosshair quite yet. Keep your crosshair here, and then as you jump up, make sure you clear this, right? And that's something you need to be aware of. So here we're kind of just jumping. You can't jump up here as any character. So this is something I like to do. Always clear here. Remember this? This is what we're playing on defense. Always watch the spots that you play on defense. They can be up here, but just kind of slowly clearing this out. They can be down here. Clear up here. Clear the headshot. Clear up here. You can look up here if you want, but just check these. Check top sight. Check back rafter. Check top screens. Check here. Slowly clearing out. Also make sure to clear under here, because you know it's very possible for you to walk up here and then you don't clear properly, and they could be like right here, and then your teammates are getting killed and they're like, what, how? So be careful about that. And so basically from here, I'm just gonna pause because I'm gonna show you a couple other potential routes you could take, but make sure you're just clearing everything appropriately, right? So another route that we have is to come up here. Again, make sure you're aware of this right here. This is possible to see. And then so here we can see all sorts of different angles. Again, just make sure you know what you're clearing. You can tell it's just kind of clunky for me as well, so make sure you clear the right first, clear the left, and then this is where you can come top 410. You don't have to be shift walking this whole time, by the way. I'm just doing it for sound, just to kind of let you know what it seems like. So here we can kind of just defend wherever we want from here. This is kind of a strong spot. It seems like you're extremely exposed, but not everyone is going to be looking directly at you straight away. So typically you can dissect one enemy somewhere, or you can even jump up here if you want to. Clear screens. I would not recommend doing that every round, but I would recommend trying to come up here. This can be a very useful spot, and we can also just come all the way over into the site, even if we don't hold shift. And again, this is something that I like to do quite often. Just kind of hold screens, hold here, maybe even get someone rafter. People in really high ranks will sometimes spam this, but you don't really have to worry about that too much, in my experience. So lastly, the last thing you can do, of course, is you can drop down from here, or you can come lower like this, clear out here, clear out here, maybe check top sight. And now I usually like to walk up and left, but we can go to the right as well. So I clear close here, and then I clear the corner. So notice there's two different angles, this one and then this one. And then we're walking up, careful top screens, careful rafters, careful back sight, careful top sight, careful close. And we're kind of just thinking, okay, where's the most likely spot for them to be? You walk up, you can ask your teammate to smoke this, or you can just kind of continue walking up with a dash or something, clear back sight, and then wherever you find someone, you can re-dash, right? And so that's how you clear the left side. How we clear the right side is going to be, just kind of walk up. They could be back here to the right, so clear all this, clear top sight, clear top screens, clear here, and then clear this corner, and then they're very likely to be either back sight or rafters if you haven't seen them yet. So here, 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 clear everything. And then from here, again, now we're playing post plant. So whenever you're in a post plant situation, what you want to do is either find a nice spot on site, like top site, top 410, or come back and play back here, depending on how the spike's planted. For example, if the spike is planted here for some reason, then you can play on here. If the spike is planted just for like right here somewhere where it should be planted, you can play all the way back here, and it's pretty easy to just kind of take fights. You can play right here, you can play right here, which is called jail, and just kind of hold like this. But again, you don't need to hold it, you can just kind of jiggle it, make sure they're not actually sticking it. We can play up close, we can flip close. So typically it's good to have one or two people out of your team to play a little aggressive. It doesn't mean you want to just be like pushing in and dying, but if you can be playing a little bit aggressive and kind of slow down, that's your main objective, is to slow down the enemies from getting the defuse. Or of course your objective is to just kill all of them, but if you can kill some and slow down the round for your team to have a better chance of winning, especially if you have like mollies or Sova ult or something, for example, that's gonna make this whole process a lot easier. So yeah, guys, that's how you play Icebox. Hopefully this helps. Let me know if you guys like the one site guide. I went pretty in depth here. Even this is a longer video than probably would have been for like the whole map. So let me know if you guys have any questions, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.